Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end. Squats.
Yeah, try it sometime.
I may be retired, but I still have finances to manage. With direct deposit and automatic payments, ICCU makes it easy to spend less time banking and more time baking.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? A happy Monday to you. Victory Monday here for once on Bronco Nation News Live. We're in the Cutwater Studios here in Meridian. Don't forget, pick up one of your Cutwater Spirits 2 for $7 at your local gas station, grocery store. Had a couple of the espresso martinis last night. Mike Prater watching our survivor pick. I almost said San Diego Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers moving on for the Circa Sports Contest. So the goal of every subscriber out there to get refunded when I win the $9 million is still alive for Circa Sports. We've made it almost halfway through the season here. So starting to get tougher, though. These survivor things, it's you can pick some easy teams, but now I'm like looking at having to take some 500 teams here. So we're it's going to get a little tougher, but had a successful weekend, moved on in the survivor contest. My Jayhawks got the win. Boise State gets the win. So in a pretty good mood here on a Monday morning. How's it going, Mike?
All I care about is if you win that sucker, does the employees, does the helper around here get a little raise too? I'd like a little slice of that myself. If you could. I think we
can come up with something. Yes. You're actually going to be down there in a couple days.
I'll be in Vegas, a little 24-hour bender to check out U2 at the Sphere on Wednesday. But it's kind of weird because I don't like to take days off during the football season. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. 24 hours, no hotel. Just an old guy just roaming around Vegas looking for something to do, and cannot wait. But big week. I know it's a big week with Fresno State coming up and Boise State and everything that's going on. So I know you had a great weekend. My Utes lost. It was a devastating weekend for me. I was kind of grumpy all weekend, but I woke up this morning in a good mood. I'm ready to get after it, DJ.
There you go. Well, sorry if I just outed you if you were trying to not say anything about being gone for a day, but you are going to make it down, I believe, to the stadium swim pool, hopefully at Circa on Wednesday. So we need to see some social media posts of Mike Prater in a bikini.
Well, I don't know about a bikini, but yes, I will be taking a nap at Circa Swim on Wednesday morning after I land and getting ready for the day. Like I said, we're not doing the hotel thing. We're going to do 24 hours of just roaming the streets of Vegas, and about a 3 or 4 hour stop at Circa Swim on Wednesday morning is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that, and been there once before. I haven't been there as many times as you have, but I'm looking forward to checking out and hanging out at the pool a little bit.
I'm trying to do it Sunday on the layover back from Fresno. I got a layover in Vegas, and I'm trying to see if I can change the second flight to the later flight from back to Boise, and maybe just take a 7 or 8 hour layover on Sunday and go watch football at Stadium Swim. So we'll see if we can pull that off on an NFL Sunday. But a lot to get to today, Mike Prater. Your column on the quarterback situation. You look at the Mountain West standings where Boise State kind of still is right there in the hunt at this point. But I want to give the defense some love off the bat first here. They've been kind of their struggles. I think a lot of people thought we were ignoring the struggles, talking about the quarterbacks too much, all the different storylines going on with this team. I had said last week, I had written about it going into that game that the coaches and the players really felt like they were close. They had put a couple decent halves together, but had yet to put together a 4-quarter game. And, Kane Ione, DeMario Warren, I talked to him last Wednesday. I mean, Kane Ione was like, you hear him talk, and he had you convinced like it was really, really close. He thought they were doing a lot. I know some people thought it was coach speak. You got to do it before you're going to believe it. I get all that. But to finally put together that 4-quarter game, and let's be honest here, Wyoming is not the most amazingly gifted offensive team of all time, but they had done some things. They were a 5-2 team, and they had a running back that it was averaging well over 100 yards per game. And I mean, they had done some things this year. And for Boise State's defense to come in, do what they did, put up numbers that Andy Avalos quote said, those are probably some of the more impressive numbers we've ever had in a single game here. And 27 rushing yards on 24 attempts, 85 passing yards on 21 attempts, 1 for 11 on third down. I mentioned Harrison Whaley, the running back. He had missed a couple games, but he had averaged 135 rushing yards per game in the 4 games he had played. He had 18 yards on 10 attempts. This looked like the dominant Boise State defense of old, and that was I know the quarterback situation we're going to get to, but if this team wants to have a chance to run the table here and win the Mountain West, they need the defense to be the one that really steps up, and that was certainly a nice start, a nice sign, what we saw on Saturday.
And I totally agree with you. All the attention is on the quarterbacks, but this football team is going nowhere unless that defense continues that. And Fresno State's coming to town. This isn't the Fresno State offensive juggernaut that we think it is, but it's certainly better than a Wyoming offense. So, Johnny and I talking on the postgame show on Saturday night, and I know we're going to talk about it all this week on Idaho Sports Talk. You and I are going to talk about it. The theme for this week is prove it. And not only for the entire football team, but that defense. They have to prove it. You can't just go off there and win one game with one performance against a team that's really kind of, a little bit stretched thin when it comes to offense. So it's a big week for Boise State on the defense, but I'm glad you pointed them out. It was an unbelievable performance. When Andy Avalos said that after the game, that this is one of the most incredible defensive performances I've ever witnessed here in terms of just the stats and the production. You go back and look at the numbers. He's right. It was a very impressive performance, BJ.
Yeah, across the board. The pass defense, and I kind of thought this going into the game, like you looked at it, and Wyoming has struggled to throw the ball. They're only averaging about 160 passing yards per game. Boise State has obviously struggled mightily against the pass, but Ty Benefield with the interception, and then, as I said, 84 yards passing. They just didn't give up anything through the air, and I thought that was because, Mike, I know that they had 7 tackles for loss. They did have 2 sacks, but I thought they were pressuring the quarterback pretty much all game. Peasley was in a lot of duress, was hit a couple of times. They end up having to switch quarterbacks there later in the game. I thought the pressure on the quarterback finally, and again, only showed up with 2 sacks, but I thought that was more pressure than we've seen in a while.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. And Peasley's supposed to be a little bit more mobile and supposed to be able to get there and run around and create some space and create some time. And he had no space. He had no time whatsoever. And they were probably 5 plays away from having 7 sacks. It was very, very close the entire time. And that defense, that whole the rhythm of that offense was terrible. And I just go back to, gosh, I want to like Craig Bull. I bet you if we just sat down in an old cowboy saloon and told some stories, that guy would be great to hang out with. But I just think he's so disrespectful to football. I know recruiting to Laramie is not easy, but get some skill players, get a running back, and I know the running back statistically was okay, but come on, he doesn't scare anybody. The quarterbacks don't scare anybody. The wide receivers don't scare anybody. Craig Bull just wants to be a big, tough guy. And sometimes it works, but you know what? It didn't work on Saturday, and that's good for Boise State.
What a game, what a 24 hours can do, I guess, for the narrative. A lot of people wanted Spencer Danielson gone a couple of weeks ago. Rudy saying, love how aggressive the play calling was on defense. Sky Ship saying, give Spencer Danielson his flowers, folks. Handcuff the Pokes offense. Did you notice anything different in the scheme or the calls or anything with Spencer Danielson, or what'd you notice from that standpoint?
I didn't notice anything different in the scheme, but I'm not a really, really smart X's and O's guy, so I know we're going to get Spencer Danielson today, and we'll certainly break that down during his press conference. But to me, it just looked like pressure, lots of pressure, and keeping people in front of you in terms of giving up those explosive plays, some scheme stuff, better tackling, and whether that's an emphasis on Boise State and what they've done the last 2 weeks, or just the fact that Wyoming's not that slippery offensively, and probably a combination of both. But tackling was good. The physicality was pretty good. Keeping players in front of you was pretty good. And the pressure was pretty good. So I just think that what they do, they just did better.
So you mentioned, this is a prove it week, obviously a step up. And by the way, UNLV was in complete control of that game against Fresno State for the first half. Fresno State makes the comeback, and then UNLV wide receiver wide open with a chance to, potentially win the game for UNLV. And crazy finish there in Fresno, though. UNLV came out there and gave them everything they wanted. Yeah,
it did. That was UNLV. If we're talking about prove it week, I don't know how far they're going to be able to take this. Crunch time is November now, and they haven't played a meaningful November since Lincoln was president, for crying out loud. I don't know. So let's see what they can do. But I was impressed. That's the first time and the most I've seen of UNLV. They're good. They're legit good. And right now, if Boise State was playing UNLV, I don't care where the game was, here, Vegas, Laramie, Wyoming, wherever you want to put it, UNLV on paper with the eyeball test is just a little bit better than than Boise State. They're a good football team. I was very, very impressed. I hope they finish strong. It'd be kind of fun, but let's still hope that Boise State can sneak into the top 2 of those standings.
Your guy, Craig Bull, is Alien Space, pointing out now 1-9 against Boise State in his career there. But you mentioned the prove it, and we mentioned Fresno State. So this, not to say Boise State's going to give up 112 yards a game the rest of the season, but was that game yesterday like? I mean, you see what they're doing with Ty Benefield getting more playing time now. Some of the other changes they've made in the defensive backfield. Is that more of what we're going to see, or was this a one-game blip? Which Boise State defense is the defense? What we saw the first 4 or 5 games, what we saw yesterday, probably somewhere in the middle?
Oh, yeah, that's really hard to say. I mean, they're going to get challenged more so on Saturday against Fresno State. There's no doubt about that. What they do and how they attack it and what those results are, we'll see. I think the matchup is pretty good. Mikey Keene doesn't scare me completely. I need to do a little bit more of a deep dive into Fresno State and look at the matchups just a little bit more. But, Fresno State's not scoring a ton of points. They're scoring about the same amount of points as Boise State, probably a little bit more, but they had a 50-point game against Kent State, if I remember right, to kind of pad their stats a little bit. So this is not that imposing of an offense that Boise State couldn't take care of business.
Let's take a quick 90-second timeout, Mike. I want to switch the discussion to your column and the quarterback situation. Maddox Madsen, again, for the 3rd game in a row, playing more snaps than Taylon Green. What does that mean moving forward? We'll talk about it in 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Ahlquist and Ball Ventures Ahlquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the 2nd floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, couple different things to get into. By the way, Mike, Bronco Brew Coffee, got to give them a shout out. I don't have them on the recorded commercials. They're roasted order coffee. Pretty cool deal we've been telling you about. It's connected an official partner of Boise State Athletics, and they've got the NIL deal through this. So I know Markel Reed is on there, some other athletes. Literally, you go to broncobrew.coffee. You purchase some delicious roasted order coffee. You can choose the Boise State athlete you want to benefit from this, and they get like $3 from every bag that's sold if their name is connected to it. And they're adding athletes by the day. You can check it out, broncobrew.coffee, official partner of Boise State Athletics and a new sponsor with us here. So if you're looking for some delicious coffee, Mike Sanford's been talking about it. Bronco Brew Coffee is a great way to start your day. I do want to talk quarterbacks, Mike, but that's kind of a forward tease here to make people hang on for a couple more minutes. 2 other topics I want to get to. One, there was a couple people on here asking for a shout out for James Ferguson Reynolds. Another game where he had a plus 50 average. I think it was a 52-yard average, 3 punts, got it inside the 20 all 3 times, had a 68-yard punt as well. Jonah Dalmas did miss the 35-yarder, made the 48-yarder, I believe, right? So, but overall, I think you still feel pretty confident in Jonah Dalmas as well. Kicker, punter, I mean, that they're both proving right now on the special teams when you have 2 specialists, they're both a strength right now, and in some games that figure to be close here down the stretch. I think the field position battle with Ferguson Reynolds is proven to be huge.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch, and he's unbelievably consistent, unbelievably productive. And last year, I don't understand why he was so average last year. I guess it's development and growth and 1 year of confidence, but it's just night and day in terms of what he did last year and what he's doing this year. He's literally gone from just a nondescript punter to one of the best, most efficient punters in the entire country. And this guy is so stinking consistent. And so is Jonah Dulmus. And you want to see him kick and make every single field goal, but I have all the trust in the world in a guy like that. Now, the punt return and kickoff return teams, if you want to have a conversation, let's dive into a couple of teams that not only aren't giving me enough positive plays, they're giving me too many negative plays.
That's Steph Cobb's muffed punt.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No, not at all. But do you think, by the way, is this a Ray Guy finalist type of year from James Ferguson Reynolds? Can he be a finalist as a sophomore here for the top punter in the nation?
I'd have to put him on the list. I haven't researched the other punters yet, BJ. I'll have to check out.
Mike, what am I paying you for?
I know. I'm going to do it as soon as we get off this show, but I'll put him on the list. And when I go back and do the national research, we'll see how many others are on the list. I would imagine some of the Power 5 guys are going to get most of that love, but it's very, very hard as a group of 5 individual to stand out, especially in that first year. Usually you have to have like a second year of momentum to be able to get on those awards. And I see those kinds of awards coming soon, maybe next year for Ray Guy. I mean, for James Ferguson Reynolds, but yeah, he's going to be in those mixes eventually, as long as he keeps doing what he's doing. And right now it's impressive to watch, and he's just a punter, but I'm very impressive to watch.
And someone pointing out it was a bad snap on the field goal miss. Yeah, but props to James Ferguson Reynolds. We talked about him a lot earlier in the year because he was all there was positive to talk about. But when the game goes well, it obviously is worth continuing to give him the praise that he delivers there. Tequila Gus says, for the first time in a bit, that was a fun game to watch. My Apple Watch didn't yell at me for heart rate this time, but it did holler at me about the noise. Overall, it was a 32-7. Nice, just overall win, dominating game as a team that came in as only a 4-point favorite. And one of the other storylines was the return of George Chilani. Mike Prater and George Chilani got back out there. I think played a lot more than folks expected, myself included, because of the injury to Ashton Genty, and we'll have to wait and see what that is. With Andy Avalos said after the game they were waiting for more tests or evaluation, but they didn't think the initial diagnosis was that it was going to be very, very bad. But not sure if you leave early if you can play the next week, and obviously going on the road to Fresno without Ashton Genty would be a huge loss for this team. But with that said, you get George Chilani back, 20 rushes, 75 yards. What did you make? You had 3 catches, I believe, as well. So 23 touches for George Chilani in this game. And I mean, this is a 2-time 1,000-yard rusher, a 5th-year senior. He's probably not Ashton Genty, but if you're going to be without Ashton Genty like you were in that game, and maybe moving forward, not many teams around the Mountain West and teams around the country, for that matter, Mike Prater, could have a guy like George Chilani come in that you feel pretty good about.
Everybody loves Ashton Genty, and I get it. I 100% get it. But it's funny how everybody forgot about George Chilani and in terms of what he's done here at Boise State. I said last week that Boise State needs George Chilani down the stretch run. And I took a lot of beating for that because everybody expects Ashton Genty just to carry the ball 99% of the time because he's just so damn good. And I get that. But they need George Chilani for issues like what we saw on Saturday to give Ashton Genty a little bit of a break. You can't, what he was doing is not sustainable in terms of leading the nation in touches, the productivity, the beating and the pounding that he took, and it caught up to him a little bit on Saturday. Fortunately, I don't think it's going to be serious. I have no idea if he's going to play against Fresno, but if it's going to be George Chilani and Breezy Dubar, that's really pretty good combination. And go look at what George Chilani does in the month of November. I've talked about this a lot. He's not very good in September. This is looking at his numbers for his entire career. He's okay in the month of October. And then somehow, some way in the month of November, his career numbers are off the charts. I think he's got like 12 career 100-yard rushing games. 7 of those are in the month of November. His average, his production, everything skyrockets in the month of November for this guy. So I think he's a crunch time guy. I think he's dependable. And if he has to be RB1 for a week with Breezy Dubar behind him and then figure out a way to get Ashton Genty back into the rotation when he gets healthy, I think it's a good combination. I am not worried about that at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's an opportunity for Maddox Madsen to be a passer and to take more control of this offense.
We'll get to that in 1 second here. But one other positive note I want to mention, you mentioned Breezy Dubar getting his first career touchdown and Prince Strawn getting his first career touchdown as well.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. 3 first, as you said, Benefield, Dubar and Strawn. That was really, really cool. I like to see that. That catch from Prince Strawn was amazing. And Prince Strawn didn't even get a target for a couple of games. He completely disappeared after he showed up and created a little bit of fan buzz, disappeared for a couple of games, and there he was. And I think that was his only target on Saturday. Back of the end zone, beautiful pass from Madsen. I'm not sure Taylon Green makes that pass. Beautiful combination. It's a sign of things to come, BJ.
All right, let's do that. 90-second break. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll continue this discussion. Mike Prater's column on the quarterbacks. Maddox Madsen emerging as QB1. And does Boise State need to just make him the starter? We'll discuss that in 90 seconds. Don't go anywhere here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, Mike, we got the poll question up on the YouTube chat. Folks can answer in. At this point, should Boise State just name Maddox Madsen the starting quarterback? You wrote the column. It's up for subscribers at BroncoNationNews.com. Go check that out. Go subscribe. We'd love to have you. $50 for a full year using that promo code BNN50 deal. And we have a couple Taco Bell gift cards left, a round of golf at Timberstone. If you want to read Mike Prater's column, we'd love to have you subscribe and help support our efforts here as we get into a busy travel season with basketball season, football season. We got a lot of expenses. So if you can help us out, $50, BNN50 deals, the promo code for a yearly subscription. We also have the $6.99 monthly option as well. But Mike, your column, the headline on the website, BroncoNationNews.com. It's cloudy and it's clear. Maddox Madsen is taking over Boise State's offense. Another game where Taylon Green gets the start, and I actually thought they stayed with Taylon Green earlier in the game longer than they had in the past. And I actually thought, because I've been a Green guy, I've made that clear, and it's mostly because I'm not even a Green guy. I'm a Green guy because I don't think, in my opinion, that for the most part he had been getting a fair shot at it. Maybe he's going to prove not to be, but in my opinion, I thought maybe earlier in the season they were too quick to pull the hook at times. But so in this game, I was excited to see it. They were sticking with Green. It was working. He had that beautiful pass on a 3rd and 4. They left him in, and he completed the pass to McAllister for the touchdown. And I'm thinking, okay, that was the bye week. They're going to just play, that was kind of the decision. They're going to play Green, most of the snaps and work in Madsen. And it looks like that might be what works here. And then Taylon Green fumbles the ball. And as we've, I guess at the time I didn't necessarily think of it that way. But Brad Bedell and Riddle on our post-game show both pointed it out, and then it proved to be the case in the post-game interviews. Like, he got benched for fumbling the ball there for a while. I mean, you can't fumble the ball. It's been a little bit of an issue. And Andy Avalos made that point clear a couple of times with the way he phrased it. Like, we got to be able to take care of the ball. And so he basically lost some of his playing time, I believe, at that time for fumbling the ball. And then Maddox Madsen took advantage of it, and they just rolled with him in the second half for the most part. 3 games in a row now where Maddox Madsen has played more snaps than Taylon Green. Do you expect anything different today from Andy Avalos in terms of who the starter? I mean, even just last week, Bush Hamden said Taylon Green is our starter, and everybody in the building knows that. And then that's another game where Maddox Madsen plays more of the snaps. don't give all of the column away. We want people to pay the $50 to read it. But what do you make of this situation here? What is happening? What should happen? And what do you think the coaches will say about it today?
Yeah, first of all, let's go back to Taylor Green on Saturday because that fumble was important, but it's also important to get yourself into the mind of the coaches. The three previous plays before that fumble, Taylor Green threw 3 straight incomplete passes. So Bush Hamden's up in the press box fuming because his quarterback can't complete a pass. Incomplete. And then he runs him up the tackles right up the middle. And you were at that same press conference I was at last week when Bush Hamden said, we need Taylor Green to run up the middle. He's got a big ass body and we need him to use it. And so 3 straight incomplete passes. Then they run him up the middle. He takes a soft hit. It wasn't that good of a hit. It was okay. And he fumbles the football. So there's 4 consecutive plays. And I would imagine at that point, Bush Hamden saying, get him out of here. Get him out of here. You know how emotionally coaches are. And from there, it was 90% and growing, all Maddox Madsen. Maddox Madsen, I'm starting to get this vision for this offense. And you're right. In the first quarter and up until Green got hurt, there was less back and forth. And that's the only thing about this offensive system that's really driving me crazy. And I know it drives you crazy as well, the back and forth. But they cleaned that up a little bit. And then when it became time to take Taylor Green out, it really became the Maddox Madsen show. The first question I'm going to ask, or the first question I want to ask today with Bush Hamden is, why is Taylor Green starting? You're telling me through your actions that Maddox Madsen's the best quarterback. He's playing almost exclusively in the second, third, and fourth quarters. And those numbers and that trend is rising and growing, and the gap is growing. Why is Taylor Green your starting quarterback? And I addressed it in the column. You'll have to go read it in the column because I think I have a theory exactly why they're starting him. But I want to hear it from Bush Hamden today. Why is Taylor Green starting? I'm not saying that he shouldn't start. I'm not saying that Taylor Green shouldn't be a part of this football team, but they're clearly telling me that Maddox Madsen's the best quarterback to win football games, but they're not showing it in the first quarter.
Yeah, why are they waiting? Yeah. And I've been saying that all along. I think I said it on Prater in the ball game last Friday. Like, even though I'm on quote unquote Team Green, I'd be more okay with them just playing Madsen the whole game than the back and forth we were seeing where it was hard to get into a rhythm and things like that. And there was less of that in this game. Once they went to Madsen, they kind of stuck with him there. I think Green got it back in for a couple snaps, but it really wasn't. He had the run, right? The rushing touchdown in the third quarter on the first play that he came in. And I've said this before, but like, that is the better way for a 2 QB system to run, when the change-up guy is the running quarterback and he can come in and do some things in short yardage situations, run the option, get a first down or whatever. That's when, that's why it worked with Rippon and Cozart, because Cozart would come in when he needed to run the ball and do some things like that. So, I agree with you. I mean, I don't know how, with what we've seen the last 3 games, again, as much as I am on the belief that if you just let Taylor Green play the whole game, I still think you could win a lot of these games down the stretch. As much as I truly believe that, with what they've done the last 3 games and how they're using it, it really doesn't make sense at this point, if you're going to play Maddox Madsen most of the game anyway, to put Taylor Green out there to start the game.
Yeah, no, there's a couple theories. And again, I talked about those in the column, and I think that they're strong theories. And I almost think that they're accurate theories, but I want to hear a little bit more from Bush Hamden today on why that's going on. I'll go back and to that original column that I wrote for you for Bronco Nation News when this whole quarterback thing started right around that San Jose State time. I said I wanted to see Maddox Madsen start and play an entire game just so I could get a sample size of what this dude's like. I still don't know what this dude's like. I think we're starting to get a clear picture. I'm comfortable with it. I like it. I mean, he's passing almost, 67, 68%. He's not turning over the ball. Taylor Green has an interception issue. He's got a fumbling issue. And Maddox Madsen, I think, is a little bit more careful with the football and one heck of a passer as well. I mean, this guy could finish this year as a 70% passer. That's beautiful. And Taylor Green can't get there. So Taylor Green needs to be the changeup guy. Brian Harsin right here on BNN talked about, I need a separation and I need a changeup guy. And separation is happening, and maybe Taylor Green is your changeup guy. So maybe Bush Hamden's vision is coming to fruition here. Let's wait and see what happens over these next couple of weeks, certainly against Fresno. But I like the development of this quarterback system. When you change your offense, especially when you deal with 2 quarterbacks, it doesn't happen overnight. And in 3 weeks, I think it's working.
And the gist of your column was, whether you believe it, whether fans believe it, whether we believe, what should happen, the coaches are telling us that Maddox Madsen is now QB1. And so if that's what they're saying by what they're doing, then maybe he should move into the starting lineup. Do you think today there will be any clarity in terms of a change there? Do you think Taylon Green still starts against Fresno? What are your thoughts on that?
I do think Taylon Green still starts at Fresno, but I definitely want to ask Bush Hamilton today, why is Taylon Green your starter? Specifically, why is he starting? And I'm very curious about what the answer is. But yeah, if moving forward, I totally expect Taylon Green to continue to be the starter. If indeed Maddox Madsen starts a football game and plays an entire football game, and Taylon Green gets 7 snaps and 5 runs, then you're going to be able to see. And I think we're going to get there. Whether it's Fresno State or later on this season or maybe even next year, or I have no idea if next year these people will even be here based on what's going on right now. But I think that's the direction they want to go. When they finally pull that trigger and make Maddox Madsen the starter, then we got ourselves an official quarterback change.
Well, a massive game on Saturday for the Mountain West Conference race. Both Boise State, Fresno State, 3-1, tied for second in the conference, along with UNLV. Air Force obviously sitting there at 5-0. So going to be very interesting. And again, we will stream live Andy Avalos, Bush Hamden, Spencer Danielson, that press conference today at noon. We will stream it live here on the Bronco Nation News social media channels. Mike, Idaho Sports Talk today. I know winners and losers of the weekend. You guys will be all over Andy and Bush and Spencer as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'll get you ready for a little bit of CFP action for tomorrow night, the first college football playoff poll. And Ball Game and myself are going to bring our top 4, and we're going to debate that a little bit as well and talk about maybe some representation from the West, maybe some Pac-12 love, and certainly dive into that. But yeah, today is all about Andy Avalos, Bush Hamden, and even Spencer Danielson. I mean, let's give him some praise. We've been beating him up for 3 weeks. We'll certainly give him a lot of praise today and figure out why his defense was so dang good on Saturday. But it's all about the quarterback story right now, BJ. Everybody loves a sexy quarterback story.
That'll be at 3 o'clock today. By the way, you been to Olive Garden yet? What was this?
That was funny. And Coach Avalos, thank you for the $50 gift card. I'm taking the family for never-ending pasta bowls to Olive Garden tonight. I'm looking forward to that.
What happened? Somebody accused you of getting a gift card from Avalos for your column or something?
Yeah, you know what was insulting? That I could be bought for $50. They said it was a $50 gift card. You really think I could be bought for $50? Fact, I can be bought, but you're going to need to add another 0 to that. If I got a $500 gift card to Olive Garden, I'm all over it, BJ.
I don't know, man. Those breadsticks and salad, that may be all it takes. You never know. But good stuff as always. Appreciate it. Nice column, Mike. Hopefully folks will go read it at BroncoNationNews.com. Hopefully you'll be watching and listening. Idaho Sports Talk today, 3 to 6. Bob, JP, Johnny, Prater, the whole gang, 3 to 6, 95.3 FM, 1350 AM, the KTIK app, KTIK.com, all the ways you can listen to KTIK. So they'll have their show and they'll have you covered today. But again, noon, we'll stream the press conference live with Andy Avalos, Bush Hamden, Spencer Danielson right here wherever you're watching this show. Just come back, go to the Facebook or the YouTube. We're trying to push the YouTube channel a little more. YouTube.com/Bronco Nation News. Make sure you subscribe there, and that's the easiest way. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. That'll do it for today's show, and we'll talk to you 11:55 or so, getting ready for that press conference on the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter accounts of Bronco Nation News. Have a great rest of your Monday. Jay Tuss will join me at 9 a.m. tomorrow. By the way, no ball talk tonight. No ball talk, scheduling conflict for Mike Sanford. So I believe Wednesday may be ball talk with Halloween tomorrow. So we'll let you know on that. But have a great rest of your day. We'll be listening 3 o'clock, Idaho Sports Talk. Talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.